Hey guys, it's Apurva. This is the part 2 of our beginner game development series. In this video, we are going to write our first program. Exciting, isn't it? This is my favorite part in game development. So, let's start. There are multiple ways to create scripts in Unity. First, let's select the player and click on Add Component. As you can see, there are many components here, but what we want is the script. So, go to the bottom and select New Script and give it a name and click on Create and Add. But the way we are going to do this is go to the projects window and right click, select Create and then C# Script. Then give it a name. In our case, we are going to call it Player Movement and press Enter. Make sure you don't use space in between the names. It counts as an invalid name and you are going to have an error. But you can use underscore. Now select the player and drag and drop the script on the player. It's going to attach it to the player. As I said in my last video, organizing is important. So create a folder and drag and drop the script on that folder. From now on, all of my scripts will be in this folder. Scripts are like custom components. Double click on the script to open it in Visual Studio. Now, it might seem scary at first, like what the f is going on here? What does using mean? What does any of this mean? It doesn't make any sense, right? I get it. It might seem confusing, but right now you just have to ignore most of the stuffs. Right now, what we want to focus is these two functions, void start and void update. So, let's take a look at start first. Start is called when the game is started. At the first frame of the game, every code that is in these curly brackets are going to be executed. Also, C# is not cap sensitive, meaning if I put a space here or take it to a new line, it's going to be fine. You can also take this curly bracket and put it next to start, but I prefer it on the new line. It helps me to see. You can see there's a dotted line and that just helps me visualize my code. Now let's give a message to ourselves. For that, in start type debug.log, but keep in mind that C# is case sensitive. So put a capital letter wherever I am putting one. After typing log, I am going to open a parenthesis. You can see it automatically closes one. Inside the parenthesis, I am going to put quotation marks, and now whatever I type in these quotation marks is going to be shown in the console. So let's type hello world and make sure you end it with a semicolon. Whenever you type a command, you are going to end it with a semicolon. Now if we save this by pressing Ctrl and S and go back to Unity and press play, nothing happens in the game view. But if we take a look at the console, you can see there's a message saying hello world. If you don't already have the console view open, just go to Window, General, Console. As I said in my last video, you really have a love-hate relationship with the console. Typing hello world is a bit boring, don't you think? Let's see what else we can do here. I mean, sky's the limit here. You can do whatever you can think of doing. And that is the reason most of the people get scared when they start programming. Because what should you do? So, let's focus on a specific problem. Let's make the gravity scale of the rigid body 2D to 0. So let's go back to coding. First, make some new lines here. What we want is to make the rigid body have no gravity. So first, I will need to reference the rigid body. Just type after me. Public rigid body 2D followed by a name. You can give it any name you want. It can be my name, Apurva. So whenever I type Apurva in my code, it's going to reference it to this rigid body 2D. But you should follow a naming pattern. It will help you in the long run. I'm not going to name it Apurva. Instead, I'm going to name it RB, short form of rigid body. And now whenever I type RB in my code, it's going to reference it to this rigid body. Now let's save the script and go back to Unity. And we'll see there is a new field in the player movement script called RB. I'm just going to drag and drop my rigid body 2D in this field. And Now whenever I type rigid body in my code, it's going to reference it to this rigid body. Now let's go back to Visual Studio and let's see what we can do here. If I clear this line and type rb.gravity_scale is equal to 0 and end that with a semicolon and save the script and go back to Unity and press play, you will see that the player floats in the air. In the inspector, gravity scale is set to 0. That means our code is working. Quick thing, if you're having any kind of difficulty with the script, maybe an error you don't understand, just let me know in the comments or DM me on any social media. Links will be in the description. So what we did is edited a tiny portion. We can do anything we want. Let's say we wanted to add force to this object. So let's go back to Visual Studio and type rb.addForce and open a parenthesis, and it will automatically close one and end that line with a semicolon. Now in this parenthesis type new vector2 and open and close parenthesis. This time you will have to manually close one because there's already one there. In the new parenthesis, I'm going to add different forces to different axes. So let's add 200 to x and maybe 50 to y. Remember, the first one is x and the second one is y. Now save the script and head back to Unity and press play. You will see that forces have been added to the player. If you are enjoying this video, make sure you give it a like and a sub to the channel would be awesome. Now let's go back to the video. A push in the start is fine, but we don't want a push in the beginning of the game. What we want is a constant force. So let's head back to Visual Studio. For this we can't use start because remember, start is called once when the game starts. So below start you will see an update. Update is called once every frame. That means whenever the computer draws an image and it draws multiple times a second, this function is going to run. So what I'm going to do right now is copy and paste this code in the update and make sure the y value is 0 because we don't want to push it upwards. And I am also going to delete the start function since we don't need it. Now if we save our script and press play, you will see the player just goes flying because the force is a lot. So what I'm going to do is make the 200 to 50. As you can see, it's much better now. However, even though our game currently runs just fine and we get no errors in the console, we do actually have an error in our code. If we go back to Visual Studio, we can see that everything looks just fine. But there's one problem, and that is if this method is called once per frame and we fixed amount of force each frame, how much force we add over a second is actually going to totally depend on our frame rate. That means if you have a really good computer that is drawing a bunch of frames a second, the cube is going to travel faster than on a slower computer that doesn't run as many frames as per second, and the frame rate can even vary on the same computer. So in order to even out these differences, what we do is we multiply this value, the 50 here, with what is called time.delta time. This is a bit confusing, but basically what time.delta time is the amount of seconds since the computer drew the last frame. So if the update is running 10 times per second, this value is going to be 0.1. What this does is even out the advantage that you would get on a faster PC. If you don't get this right away, that's totally fine. Just know that the game is going to be same on every computer. Now if I save and hit play, you will see that nothing happens because my computer is drawing a bunch of frames, so the value gets much smaller than it was before. The easiest way to fix it is just change 50 to a higher number like 400 and save the script and play. You will see that it's much better. The final thing that we are going to do is something that does not look like it's wrong, but it is, and that is update method. Unity really likes when we use fixed update instead of update when using Unity's physics system, and that is what we are using now. Also, you can use comments in your code. Comments are lifesavers. I already have a video in comments. I'll put that video up there and in the description. As you can see, this line is green because it's marked with these 2 slashes. Whenever you mark any line with these 2 slashes, it counts as a comment and the compiler is going to ignore this line. So it allows you to add stuff like this. So that's it. That pretty much wraps up the video. Until the next video, just play around with it, maybe add a sphere and see what happens. And I hope to see you in the next video. Until then, have a great day.